You know, every time I make one of these vlogs, I'm always hit with all these feelings, these insecure feelings of what do I have to say? What could anyone possibly get that's good out of anything I could say? Well, this week, God's been impressing on my heart, reminding me that I have a voice. I mean, metaphorically speaking, because my actual physical voice is still gravelly and not back to normal yet. Almost there, but not quite, after almost going on 4 months now of laryngitis. But I mean, metaphorically speaking, I have a voice. So do you. What voice do I want others to hear when they look at my life, when they hear the words I say, when they see the things I do, when they see the responses that I have to circumstances in my life, when they hear what I talk about and focus on? What voice do I want other people to hear? That's the question I've been thinking a lot about. A good friend of mine who's dealing with a lot of challenging health issues right now, a lot of confusion, a lot of fear, a lot of pain, sent me this song by a group called Sidewalk Prophets, and it's called Father, Let It Be. And I'm going to open with this. The chorus says, Father, let it be. Help me to believe. Jesus, tell me stories of the times you felt like me. Spirit, let me see the forest for the trees. Help me see these are the plans you have for me. Give me the patience and the strength to let you lead. If this is your will, God, let it be. Now, why do I open with that? The simple answer is we all have a voice. Every single one of us. Those who acknowledge God and those who don't. We all have a voice. And people see it in the choices we make every day, and people hear it in the words we say. And this world, the message is all about being your authentic self, being who you are, putting yourself on display, celebrating your uniqueness and what makes you special. And is all of that bad? No. Nothing wrong with how unique and special I am or you are. But the question is one of focus. Do you want your voice that you project out to others to be all about you? Do I want my voice to be all about me, 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 me? My goals, my dreams, my desires, my hopes, my fears. Me, 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 me. Is that all I want it to be about? Because by default, that's where it's going to go. Or do I want my voice to point others to Jesus? And I know my heart that God has put within me. I want that so much. That's what these vlogs are all about. But I have a voice shaped by my unique story. A story I talked about last time. A story that included blessings wrapped up in pain. My father sexually abusing me when I was young. And the devastation that created in my heart and my soul. But how the blessing came out of that of my mother, Charlotte, and how special she is to me. That's the way all life is, blessings wrapped up in a lot of pain. Sometimes it's the things that challenge us the most, the things that we really, really wish hadn't happened to us, are the opportunities for the greatest blessings of all, because they push us to grow and stretch. So I do have a voice shaped by the unique story that God allowed me to live as a child, living under the specter of sexual abuse, as an adult, dealing with a lot of challenges in my life and in my relationships, having my health that I had always taken for granted be taken away from me 33 years ago, and the resulting challenges, life-altering challenges that I've had to deal with since. That will never get better. That I have to learn to embrace and move forward through. That is my unique story that God has given me. You have a story as well. And in the middle of that story, shaped by that story, is your voice. And how will you use it? I opened with the song, Let It Be, because that song talks about acceptance and surrender to whatever circumstances God is allowing in my life. That's the heart response of faith that God wants me to have. It's so hard when the life that I've been given is not the life I signed up for. It's not the life I ever dreamed for myself. It's hard. But God's behind that. I have a voice shaped by my life story. So that's why I opened with the Sidewalk Prophets. Very well written song. Let it be. Because if I don't surrender to the things that I don't like that God's allowed in my life, my health, my relationships, my family, my job, my disability, my talents, lack thereof, whatever it is, if I don't accept the unique story that God has called me to, if I don't release my dreams and put them under His, then my voice is going to be one of self, 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 me, me, me. That's not the voice I want to have. Unfortunately, it's the voice I have way too often. I'm a hot mess. I don't know about you, but the things that I really long and want to do, I want to glorify God in my life. And yet I fail Him so many times. So I'm a hot mess. But I'm also completely known by Him. I acknowledge I'm a hot mess. Jesus, on the other hand, knows what an incredibly pitiful hot mess I am. Worse than I'm willing to admit. He knows me fully and He loves me as I am. And He loves you the same. So what voice do I want to have? I want to have a voice that is surrendered to whatever God is doing in my life. I talked about how hard it was last time to accept the fact that my health will never get better. See, this is what God's called me to. Am I willing to accept that? He's thrown down the gauntlet. Will I pick it up and say, let it be? You know, Jesus modeled that in the garden when in his humanity, he prayed because he knew what was coming. And he prayed, God, if there's any way possible, please take this suffering away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. Jesus modeled that for us. And that's what he expects from me, and that's what he expects from you, regardless of what we're going through in our lives. I don't have all the answers, but this one thing I do know: suffering does not destroy faith. It refines it, and it gives it a voice. You want to know God? You want to be more of who he's called you to be? You're going to suffer, because there's no better way to do that. At least not in my experience and in my life. Maybe that's because I'm so stubborn. I don't know what. I do know that's how God works in me. It can feel like God's this cosmic killjoy, taking away the things that I want more than anything in my life. You know, the old westerns where the cowboy villain takes out his 6-shooter and he shoots at the ground right below the guy and says, "Dance." And he's jumping all around trying to avoid the bullets. Sometimes it feels like God's got his 6-shooter out and he's saying, "Dance, Julie, dance." It feels that way. But the eyes of faith will see instead a God who cries with me when I cry. A God who doesn't apologize for putting me in difficult circumstances and definitely doesn't explain to me why, but a God who has good reasons for what he does, and a God who wants to put himself on display. Have you ever thought about that? God is invisible. How is anyone going to ever see him or hear him? Through my life, through my voice, and yours. The question is, are they going to see who God really is? Or are they going to see something very twisted and distorted? That's a challenge in front of me every day. Will I put Jesus on display using the voice he's given me? Or will I put me on display? And I'm sorry to say, way too often I put me on display. And that cheats people around me out of the opportunity to get to know the God who loves them, who has a reason for everything he does, and the God whose heart is good, that they can trust no matter how hard it is. That's the voice I want to have. I want to use the one voice God has given me to encourage other people, to inspire other people. So that they will not give up, no matter how hard it is in their life right now. So that they will believe that something better is just around the corner, or, I might add, someone better is just around the corner. Whenever it is that I do leave this life and go on to the next, I want to leave a trail of breadcrumbs behind me. And that is my voice that does that. My voice, honest with my struggles. My voice, powerfully backed up by the choices that I make every day. that voice God can use. You know, we can say one thing, and then if our life says something different, it negates the words that come out of our mouths. Our life, our choices, our responses, what we choose to focus on, what we choose to do, how we treat the people in our lives, especially when they don't deserve treatment that's kind. How we treat the people in our lives. Those are the kinds of choices that you and I make every day, and they become our voice. So I want to challenge you today. What voice do you want to have? Do you want your voice to be all about you? Or do you want it to be about the God who loves you and wants to use your challenges to draw others to him? I know what my answer is. And that's what I choose today. That is my answer. I want my voice to honor him. So God, thank you for the broken road. As a child, as an adult, that has led me to you. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for never leaving me. Thank you for never giving up on me, even though you know me so, so well. Thank you for that peace that comes from knowing that there is nothing I can do to be more loved by you. Not a thing. I want others to know that love from God. It's the game changer and it's the life changer, knowing Jesus. I wish that for you today, so that you can use the one voice God's given you, shaped by your own unique life story, to lead others to him through the brokenness of your own life. If it's your will, God, let it be. So today, choose. Choose to make your voice one that will encourage and inspire the people watching you. Don't let it just be about you. There's so much more for your story to tell if you allow it to. So today, choose your voice to be one that points others to him. Choose hope, that intangible thing that changes everything. It's this internal reality. We can't see it, but boy, we know it's there. Today, choose to allow your voice to point others to him. Until next time.